Hello and welcome to the AFL Riverina Football and Netball Show. I'm your host, Hannah Maguire. Well, footy fever has well and truly hit our local region. We had a very exciting round one of the RFL this weekend, but before we go into those highlights, we have to talk about a very special game in the Farrer League this weekend. Sydney Swans legend Michael O'Loughlin will pull on the boots for Mara this weekend in round one of the Farrer League. We're joined by the Rock coach Michael Mazzocchi in the studio now. The Rock are playing against Mickey O'Loughlin this week. Tell us, who is going to play on Mickey O'Loughlin this weekend?
Oh, well, Hannah, I presume he'll play forward. So if he does go forward, one of our bigger guys in Drew Campton, Cam Johnson or myself will line up on him. But we'll just see where he goes to and, match up on him the best we can body-wise.
You mentioned yourself you could play against him. Are you a little bit nervous if that's the case?
Oh, not really. It's a good promotion for the league. It's exciting, but at the end of the day, when we get out on the footy ground, whether we line up on Dean Howard or Michael O'Loughlin, is still, as I spoke to the guys last night at training, he's still human, and we're there to win a game of footy. So don't get too wrapped up in it. As the ball comes down, punch it away, tackle him, do whatever. He's just a normal bloke in a Mara jumper who we want to beat. Okay,
and how did you feel when you first found out the Rock will be playing against Mick?
I suppose it's mixed emotions. It's great for the league and all that publicity, but then to have a player of his quality play against you, it's pretty daunting. So hopefully, I think the contest will be won or lost in the middle. Hopefully he won't be the difference, so it won't really matter at the end of the day.
Are you confident you have the goods to come up with a win?
Oh, definitely, yeah, we're confident. I think we've got a really good squad together. We've had a late pre-season start, but it's been a good pre-season. Everyone's trained well and we've had a good squad trained through. So, yeah, we're really confident. We've changed our game plan. I think we've got what it takes to be really competitive this year.
Okay, and have you picked up any new players?
Yeah, we have. We picked up Tom Yates. He's come up from Albury Tigers. He's had 6 years up there in the Ovens and Murray system, so he'll be really good for us. Tim Masson comes over from Narrandera. Ted Fellows has come from Wagga Tigers. So, yeah, we've got some pretty good footballers. We've got some juniors who are coming through the system now too, in Harry White, Jordan Kemp, and Zach Woods has also come through. So, no, we've got some new blood there.
Okay, what about player losses?
Yeah, Ryan Chamberlain went back to Coolman, so he'll be a big loss. He won our best and fairest last year. And along with Ryan was Mark Ward. He was our other major loss. He's gone back to Canberra where he lives. So yeah, there are a couple of losses this year, and Mitch Glasgow as well. So, but I'm sure what we recruited can cover those losses.
Okay, and I guess the boys will be pretty excited about playing on the newly developed Robertson Oval.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the big things. It's a great facility. It's a credit to Wagga and the AFL and the council who have put that together. And we haven't actually trained or done anything there, but it looks great and the surface there is unreal. So it's a real credit to everyone involved.
Okay, thanks Michael, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks,
now that game will be played at Robertson Oval, as I just mentioned, at 6:30 on Friday night, so make sure you get down there to see some good top-notch footy, local footy. And now in the other games in the Farrer League, they'll be played at the regular times on the Saturday. And we've also got, for this first round of the Farrer League, we've got East Wagga Coringal. They'll be playing CSU this weekend. Now the Hawks, they're very confident going into this round, and they say they have a lot of strong teams in netball, both netball and football. Now our sports reporter Matt Kelly, he wrote this report not too long ago.
East Wagga Coringals had a tough start to the year. They've pulled the pin on their under-17 side.
The numbers coming through this year from last year's under-15s weren't strong, so it made it really difficult. So we tried hard, and we were probably 7 or 8 short, so we really had to bite the bullet and in fairness to the other clubs, and call it quits.
While 2013's a write-off for the under-17s, the club is adamant the decision is not forever. The pre-season form of the senior side has soothed the pain. Several youngsters are burning up the track.
I think the guys are looking good in this pre-season is Nick Hull. Hully starts his 3rd year in 1st grade. He's hit the gym this pre-season and he's bulked up a fair bit. Levi Pollard is training really hard as well. And guys like Chris Homo's put in a big pre-season. So they're 3 guys that I think will have really good seasons.
The club's netballers are also in super form.
I could confidently say our netball side of things will be the strongest year it's been in a number of years. We've signed on Danielle Skinner as a 1st grade coach. One of the first times we've actually gone out and sought a quality netball coach.
Despite the under-17's demise, the future looks bright at East Wagga Coringal. Matt Kelly, Prime 7 News.
In other Farrer League matches this weekend, Colliambly will play the North Wagga Saints, while the Northern Jets will line up against arch rivals and reigning premiers Temora. Paul Harble from AFL New South Wales joins us in the studio now to talk all things RFL. Now, Paul, the match of the round this weekend is Narrandera versus Collingully. Now, you wouldn't say Narrandera's win was overly convincing against Leeton last week.
Oh, not overly convincing, but first match of the season, both clubs really keen to do well, and Narrandera came out with a 20-point win, which was fantastic for them. And obviously Leeton were a bit underdone, some player injuries, so they'll be better for that run leading into this week. And I'd suggest that this game will be a fantastic game. I mean, Narrandera had a few players out last week as well with Rice and Young Masters, but they've certainly this week will be an interesting game against the Gully at Narrandera on a big ground. Yeah,
Collingully, a bit of a nail-biting game last week.
Yes, well, it was a good game out there. Obviously, Ganmain, very good side. Gully have a very good lineup as well, but it was Ganmain getting across the line with some really good football played, and the fact that probably poor goal kicking cost Gully in the end.
Okay. Who are the key matchups in this weekend's game, do you think?
Oh, there's no doubt Johnson at full forward or centre half forward, but he's got a bit of an injury concern this week with a quad injury, so he may be out against Spriggs, and Spriggs is a very good player. Orman in the ruck against Josh Measelback, which will be a really good duel, especially in the big ground. If they can get around and take some marks around the ground, that'll make it easier for the fleet of foot players. Doyle at fullback against Mark Geppert obviously will be a good matchup. And the midfield running of Rice and Sullivan against Gordon and Aitken. They've got a really good player in young Jacob Veering coming through the system with Narrandera. He'll play really well. And then you've got the running Ben Absalom, who's back playing with Collingully and gives a lot of drive out of the half-back line.
Righto, now what are your tips? Do you think Gully can get up against the reigning premiers?
I think they can. I think it'll be a very interesting game. But I mean, on a big ground, lots of running, and obviously Mark Geppert kicking 5-5 last week wasn't a highlight of his career. I'd suggest he's going to need to kick a bit straighter. I can give him a few tips being an ex-left footer. I'll show him in the boardroom this week, no doubt about that, and get him to kick straight this week. But I think in a close one, I'm going to pick Gully this week because I think they've got a better structure. The guys coming back in Rice and Masters will certainly help Narrandera, but Gully in a close one this week.
Rightio. Now you've got AFL legends all over the weekend, the region this weekend. Now AFL troublemaker Brendan Favola, he's going to play for Griffith on Sunday. Do you think that'll give the Swans a much needed boost?
Oh, there's no doubt. It's just like Mickey O'Loughlin coming to play for Mara. I mean, Favola coming to play for Griffith is going to be great for the game. Certainly a target up forward. We know he can kick goals. It'll be interesting to see who plays on him from a Luton perspective, but look, he'll be great for the game. James Kennedy's another guy that's fitted in really well with Griffith, and he's kicked 3 goals last week and played really well through the midfield. So they've got a number of players there that can run the ball forward, and I think that the fact that they've got those running players will give Favola plenty of shots at goal, and I'd suggest he'll kick 10.
Do you think they can beat Leeton with Fav on their side?
Oh, certainly. I think Griffith, look, they play really well at the Griffith ground. They know how to use that facility of the ground. They run the ball well. And again, with a guy like Favola up forward and their running players, their Ortons and Co through the midfield, I think they'll do really well.
Rightio. Now Turvey Park, they play the Tigers this weekend. Now he's hoping they get a win to coincide with their reunion this weekend.
Yeah, big reunion this weekend. Past players and netballers reunion, huge weekend, kicking off Friday night, going right through to Sunday. Probably a few sore heads by Sunday, I'd suggest. I wouldn't underestimate Turvey Park. They played really well for a half last week. They've got some good young players, and I think they'll push the Tigers. We just hope they can play a second half because that's where they fell down last week. Tigers would really need to improve on last week's effort. It was a pretty poor effort, I'd suggest, considering the players that they do have. But again, they played against a pretty handy side in Coolman.
Rightio. Now the last game of the round, Ganmain play Mango. You're probably going to have to say Ganmain for this one.
Yeah, well, we don't know much about Mango at this stage, but I think they'll want to do well. I mean, their team structure will be interesting, but Ganmain, look, they've got a very well-balanced team. Colhagen and Olsen, the Steele boys. Mitch Steele's up and about this year, and he really wants to play. And another prediction, I think he'll kick 70-plus goals this season for the club, so that's not bad from a half-forward flank or sitting in a forward pocket. So I think Ganmain to win. Mango would need to improve. Home game for the Lions, and that's always tough over there.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today, but make sure you tune in next week because we've got Michael O'Loughlin coming in, the legend himself from the Swans. We have a very special interview with him next week, so make sure you tune in at aflriverina.com.au. We'll see you guys then.